What's going on YouTube? Is Donnie B all day bringing you another big guy. This right here is the Honshu Boshin Bowie. Oh yeah, this thing is blurry. This thing is comes with a pretty decent sheet. It does have a leg tie down hole. It is leather. It's pretty thick. It's well built. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. But it's all about this guy right here. The Honshu is pretty cool. We're looking at 15 and a quarter overall, I believe, 9.5 inch blade. Yeah, about 9.5 inch blade, I believe it is. It's 7 CR 13 steels, like AUS 8 basically, right? It's a carbon based stainless, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now, the construction, I'm not 100% sure where the tang goes. I don't know if it attaches to the pommel. I have no idea. One thing I do know is that they glue the hell out of it on the inside, and the reason I know that is because right there, you can barely see it right at the fuller. There's a little bit of glue sticking out, but I don't really care because that just lets me know they actually glue it. But getting back to the fullers are actually pretty nice. It's a recurve blade. Hollow grind. It's got a grind on the top. It's not really a false edge. It's just a nice shape. You know, it thins out the tip, which is a razor sharp. You have it's like some kind of rubber. It's rubber. It's not a hard plastic, but it's a hard rubber. You know what I mean? So I'm assuming if I get it wet, there's a good shot I'm going to lose some of the grip. But as of now, it's still pretty firm to the grip. This is something that would be considered a fighting buoy. I'm gonna have to compare this to the Gilhibben Highlander buoy because they're pretty similar in shape, and I really want to get a side-by-side feel for feel. And I could have at any time because I've had this now for months, and I own the Gilhibben. I just never really put them together. So fit and finish. Overall, it's not too bad. I found a little dead spot in one of these little lines right here, just like a little worn out spot. But that's about it. The lanyard hole is cool. The hammer end is cool. Not sure how strong that is. Again, I wish I knew where the tang was because that really makes a difference when you are hacking into things. Now remember, it is a fighting knife, so it's not really made to be a survival knife. It's not made to be a bushcraft knife. It's not made to be a camp knife. It's made to kill when you get attacked by someone, Bigfoot, because we don't kill people, only Bigfoots. So being a fighting knife and using it as such, you want to use it only, in self-defense and only for practice. But let's see here. Oh yeah. And is it shave sharp? Yes. Actually, it's razor freaking sharp, guys. This knife comes out of the box super freaking sharp. And I do like that. I said do, but the last knife I gave you, or one of the last knives I gave you, I can't remember. I do so many. It was taking off hair with every pass, and it was shave sharp, as in it will shave eventually, but this thing makes smooth marks. I mean, look at that, guys. This thing is ridiculous. Now, it's put out by United Cutlery, right? And people hear that and immediately there's disdain. They're like, oh, United Cutlery, that means it's cheap and blah blah blah. United Cutlery a long time ago gave off, that feeling like, oh, everything you get at United Cutlery is going to be something cheap. It's novelty. It's this and that. But they've come a long way, and they actually do have some pretty good quality knives. This one has a great quality edge. We're going to find out if it's a great quality knife. But this brand, the M48 brand, they have these different brands that are actually pretty good. They're knives that can be used as knives, and as far as the purchaser me and you is concerned, that's important. The most important thing is it a knife through everything? Not just the way it looks, not just the way it feels, not the way you post it on a wall or put it in some kind of display case. Is this a knife no matter what? Can I use it when a knife needs to be used? Blur. Can I use it to unblur a camera because I don't know how to work the damn thing? Yeah. So we're going to get a good feel for this thing. We're going to see how it swings. And, obviously it's only as good as the guy, whose hand it's in. But I'm pretty decent with a blade. So if it's going to work, we are going to work it. Let's get to work. Yeah, Honshu. All right, so let's get cutting. I brought out the big jug, and I use this one because other knives have had a hard time cutting this in the first shot because of its shape. These edges make it pretty tough. It's not nice and round, so it doesn't go through smooth. However, this edge I just have confidence in, so I want to give it a shot here. It was no problem. No freaking problem. That was sweet. Let's see if we can't hit it again. Golly! Peekaboo! Yeah, I'd say that works. The edge on this thing is just great. Now this isn't some cheap, like half-gallon of milk, thin plastic. This is actually pretty thick. It's a great bottle. Fairlife makes great milk, chocolate milk. Whoa. But this isn't a Fairlife chocolate milk review. This is all about this. Comes in a box that looks a lot like this. Let's see. It's just so sharp. Sharp, 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 sharp. I mean, sharp. This thing is sharp. And I like sharp. Sharp is good. And I have to say, even though it's got that hard rubber, it's still a good feeling blade. I don't feel like I'm going to lose it every time it spins around in my hand. I don't feel like it's going anywhere. It seems to me like this is a pretty sturdy handle. And I'm digging that so far because that's important. That's really, really important. But let's keep going and see what else we can do here. All right, walk with me. So I have this nice little 1-inch forest tree over here, and connected to it is a bunch of vines. So, I mean, that is just so pretty. This cut's just smooth. And these are pretty good thick vines here, but they are in absolutely no way a match for this guy right here. Man, the Boshin from Honshu, Honshu, made by United Cutlery, sharp. I mean, I can say it all day long because all day long it's going to be sharp. Let's take down a couple of these little branches here. You can watch them all fall down, but that's not the hard part. That's actually kind of easy. So now what I want to do is I want to reverse it, and I want to hit it with the spine, but I want to hit it near the tip of the spine where there's that semi-false edge. I missed. It's got, the handle goes this way, so it kind of does throw you off when you hold it by the spine. All right, so I put a nice cut into this. But again, this is nowhere near sharp. I just wanted to see how it's going to handle hitting something. I'm going to come back the other way. And again, it's putting some really nice cuts in it. Now, I am going way over my head, so I'm not generating a ton of power. But I'm going to actually see if I can swing a little harder this time. And man, it is putting some damage just by hitting with the spine. It's tight. There's nothing loosening. Let's get that out of the way. Awesome. But now we're going to hit it with the blade, and you can see that it barely took anything to get that down. I'm going to hold it down low now and try to hit it with the spine near the part that's got a little bit of grind on it. And man, it's like a quarter of the way through, just denting. Man, that's not bad. I took off a little branch and a little skin, but here we go. Watch this. get all these branches together so it's one big thick piece. Just not even an issue. Not even an issue. I mean, I know these are pretty thin, but I just went through all the thick stuff. Just not even close to an issue. Ah! Okay, it didn't hit me. But look at that. I mean, that's just nice. Nice, nice, nice. Come back to the old trunk here and bang, bang, bang. And this part is pretty thick. So let's see. Look at that. Look how sweet that is. So let's give it a couple of these guys right here. A couple little shaves on this thing right here. Man, that is nice. So let's take it down to a point. And normally on something a little thicker, I wouldn't waste my time doing this. But with this knife, even though this is pretty soft stuff and it's green, I have no doubts that I'm going to be blurry. I have no doubts that this thing can make a razor sharp tip, which it did. So basically, I know that if I need to make a trap, if I need to set pit spikes to trap some animals and kill some bunnies or some coyotes or anything else that I need to kill, this thing is going to make some very, very sharp spikes. No problem. Let's see, we'll get a little notch here. You know, if you're making, if you're doing bows or just tie downs, anything like that, make the old Lincoln log notch, a square notch. That's my favorite. So let's spin that around. The square notch, I call it the Lincoln log notch. It has just so many uses. It's a very, very good notch, and you don't realize how good it is until you use it, and you don't realize that until you need it. So if you're building fires or structures or, you know, even a doghouse, being able to notch like that is just really, really important. Even different kinds of traps, bird traps and things like that, when you're making a cage and you want things to fit precisely. Yeah. So let's check out the edge here. I know that was softwood, but I mean, with a couple of hard whacks against something, there's just no damage at all. All that's on there is the oozing juices from the freaking tree, and it is pretty. I'm liking it so far. Let's keep going. All right, so you got to see how it performs against You got to see how it performs against softwood. Now let's see how it does against hardwood. And you see, I'm just tapping it, and it's got such good bite. But let's see here. Man, it is so simple. It's literally, I am taking out this knot. I'm barely doing it. I'm just starting out, going nice and soft. You hear that tingy sound? Nothing's loose. So I don't know where that's coming from, but man, what I'm gonna do now is some fast hits. Ooh. And get it down. Gosh, this thing is an unbelievable chopper. And just those little tiny amounts of chopping. Look at what we did here. I mean, that's just insane. Look at this. Watch this. Bam, 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 bam. I wasn't even showing you. Bam. Look at that. Bam. Look at that. Just chunks come out of that every swing. Now, this is harder wood, so it's going to do more damage to an edge. But let's see. Let's see what we have here. This edge looks superfluous, stupendous, remarkable, beautiful, oh, blurry. All right, so once we get out of the blur, we're going to have some more fun. So let's press pause and get it set up. All right, so here we go. We're at the stump. We're going to have a little fun with this guy. I want to make sure that nothing's really loose. I can feel a little tiny, and that's probably where the noise is coming from. Just a little tiny wiggle up here on the handguard. Right now, what I want to do is some drops. So I'm assuming that's where the rattle's coming from. And that's exactly what it is. It's just the handguard rattling. The knife isn't coming apart so far. Just a little tiny rattle there. Let's do a couple of downward throws here. Yeah, you could hear that. But look at this. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Frickin'. Now let's see. let's see if you can actually see it moving. See that? You can't even see it moving. I can feel it. You know what I mean? I can feel like click, click, click. But it's just barely. I want to check the pommel is on solid. So it's literally the only thing moving is this. This gave a little bit of space, and so now the handle is gonna fraction of an inch. You can feel it shift because that loosened. But that's not too bad. I'm gonna keep on rolling with it. Let me see. I know I have some pieces here. We got the oh, blur. There we go. We got the old vacuum cleaner hose. So what we want to do is just, wow. I mean, just sears right through the vacuum cleaner hose. That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent indeed. Let's see. We got a little bit of this guy. And we got a little bit of this guy. It's getting blurry. Okay, here we go. Let's test this edge. And we'll see what kind of damage. Oh, no. Oh, man. Nothing happened. Yeah. No, it actually, the edge is holding up very well. The only issue so far, one little tiny bit of loosening right here. Again, this is a fighting knife. It's a fighting knife. It's not made to do what we're doing with it right now. So, if you're judging this knife and this dexterity, or this strength of the handguard by what we're doing, remember that that's not what this knife is for. This knife is for stabbing, slashing, cutting. This is not for woodwork. However, I'm showing you that it can be done. And you think if this was a person, I mean a Bigfoot, you're gonna lop off whatever needs to be lopped off. Big toes on a Bigfoot. Anything. This thing is going to be a beast for that. You won't have any of those loosening problems. That comes from using it for purposes it's not made for. A little bit about the Ricasso right here. It's actually really comfortable. It's choilish comfortable because it's so flat and so big. I do dig that. We do have what appears to be a 90 spine, so you could probably throw some spark with it, but again, that's not what this knife is for. If you don't have something in your pocket made for doing something like that, or if even, what do I have with me today? I have the small K-bar, right? The K-bar small. If you need, purposeful knives, stuff that's going to be used for certain tasks, you use the knife made for it. This guy right here is pure and simple fighting knife. This is too, but it's more of a bushcraft fighting knife. You know what I mean? All right, so let's keep going. All right, so if this thing is going to ruin or break or damage, it's going to happen during a throw test if I miss. If I hit the blade, I don't think there's going to be anything wrong. But I don't want to miss, so I'm going to actually try to hit the blade. Let's see what we can get here. Well, that thing was butter smooth in the air. I mean, oh my gosh, and the bite was incredible. There isn't a complaint I have about that. I threw it from the handle, low, and I have to say that it came out of my hand like a boomerang. Holy crap, it felt really, really natural. That was my first time throwing this knife, and it felt like I'd been throwing it forever. It was literally that comfortable, and I didn't even have to measure. It didn't take me any time at all, or I didn't have to think about it. It just came out so well. I don't know, it's hard to explain. If you throw knives, then you know what I mean. If you don't throw knives, then you're thinking, what's this crackhead talking about? But this thing was pure coming out of the hand. Let me get rid of some of this caca, all the sap. So, yeah, that was throwing it and launching it out of my hand was really, really impressive as far as the feel. It felt like a knife should feel like when you throw it. And you throwers out there, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about there. Very, very nice. Let's go put it on the rack. Uh-oh. I said let's go put it on the... Alright, so here we have it. The Honshu Boshin from United Cutlery. Overall, what do I think of this knife? Well, I don't know why I'm asking you. I'm the one that has to answer it. Overall, what I think about this knife, that's better, is it's actually really cool. It's a cool knife. The blade itself is awesome. I mean, I love the blade. The handle, I could use a better material. I think they could have done that a little bit better. They could have gave it a better feel and probably a better design throughout the tang, because the rubber alone does not, the glue that they use alone does not hold that rubber down when you're using it for things it's not made to be used for. Would I have had that issue of the handguard having a little baby minor, movement in it if I was using this thing what I was supposed to be using it for? Absolutely not. But again, if I was using this thing what it was made to be used for, I'd probably be in prison. It's a really cool knife, man. If you collect buoys and you are a recurve fan and you like the Japanese styling, you are probably going to really, really enjoy this knife. If you are looking at this knife because you're thinking you want to replace your K-Bar Big Brother, then you are going to vomit UFOs, because it is not going to be made for that. It's not going to have, the blade will be strong, but the rest of it is not going to maintain its strength through heavy use when talking about survival skills. Can I use this knife as a survival knife? Big question. Hell yes, I can. If I'm careful with the knife and I use it well and I place my thumbs in my grip where it needs to be gripped way up at the handguard, then I feel that I can do a lot of bushcraft stuff with this knife. But it is not ideal for it. It is not made for it. And I don't speak that way about the blade, but mainly about the construction from below the blade. It's a cool knife though, guys. I mean, they're dirt cheap. Is it to get a buoy this size, this shape, this sharp? Is the money worth it? Without a doubt. Without a doubt, the money's worth it. These are sub 50 all day long, maybe sub 40. I can't remember exactly. When you get so many of these damn things, you stop caring how much they cost and you just get them. And I have to say that I'm really glad that I got this knife. This is a cool knife. It's going to be used a lot like some of my expendable knives or my Rambo knives. I'm going to use it just to take down trees and stuff because it's fun to use. It's fun to swing. I enjoy it. Will this be my camp knife? No. Will I be able to use this as a hike knife like my Gilhibben Highlander Bowie, which I can take for, woods personal protection, against cougars and mountain lions and things like that? Hell yeah. This thing would be a very easy carry when you're talking about self-defense against the wilderness. Without a doubt. And that's what I love about the Gilhibben Highlander Bowie, is I know that the steel will never rust using it as self-defense in the woods. And I get the kind of feeling with this blade that that's what it would be really good for. It's a fighting knife, and if you don't, have too many Bigfoots coming at you in the rural areas or in the urban areas, then take this thing out with you into the woods and have to defend yourself against a bear, then you might do all right. So, it's a cool blade. I think it's worth the money. I dig it. I'm Donnie B all day, and until next knife.